Robert Hare wrote a book called Snakes in Suits. The reason he wrote that book was because, by the way, I think I have it. Do I have it here somewhere? I think I have it somewhere over here. Yeah, so if you can get that book for yourself. The psychopath is a master of appearances. When you're dealing with these narcissists and psychopaths, they are very good at making an impression. They have the best appearance you can think of. They are very fashionable. They dress on the they dress on their best suits. Their makeup is always on point. Their style is up to a T. So when you look at them, the impression that they create is an impression of someone who is very well put together, as opposed to you. You look average, they look, super. Their clothes are always, and just so perfect. Their style is impeccable because they are hiding. Psychopaths and narcissists are perfectionists. That's one way you know you're dealing with a psychopathic boss. Perfectionism is not a virtue. It's not. Usually, if you see someone who is, and this is not to say that you should not be good looking and whatnot. You should see us. We are also good looking and stuff. When we go out, we are also well put together. But there's just something about how perfect these people think they should be, because it is a cover. It's not just respect towards the people you will interact with. No, because it's actually used to demean them, to show how better they are than you. It's also a cover because they understand that based on you, people judge people based on how they appear. You can't help it. If you look at a lady and she's just super like Miss What, and it's like 24/7, she's just like that always, you tend to think that because of how they appear, or this guy who is just tailored properly always, you tend to think that that is a good sign. But most of the time, because psychopaths do this, you have to be wise enough to know that you should not get sold on their appearances alone. The other thing you need to understand about their appearance is that it is a competitive gesture. They'll react negatively to you if you also seem to appear to be just as cool looking, just as smartly dressed, just as expensively well put together. Yes, I understand when you say you feel like I'm talking about you. Exactly. I know what you're talking about. Keep tapping on the screen, guys. Share the live. So you will understand their appearance is not for the sake of inspiring you. It's for the sake of competition. Because you will realize that the moment you adopt the same standard, the same style, the same class, they will mark you as a target. They will try to start finding flaws in you. They start gaslighting you. They will try to shame you a bit, try to catch you off guard, maybe lift your trouser up to reveal your socks quickly to see if maybe your socks were not well as classy as theirs, or something, just something. They'll start correcting the color code that you have on. They'll tell you that tie does not match with your shirt. They'll try to devalue you. because for them it's a competition. Are we together? So they don't use their appearance as an inspiration for their staff and their employees. They use it as a means to cause you to continue looking up to them. Remember, a relationship with any psychopath, any narcissist has to be vertical. It cannot be horizontal. You have to look up to them as an inspiration, as a father figure, as, a mentor. It's called the narcissistic God complex. And the moment you present yourself in such a way that people will start talking about you in the same light, they will view it as competition. If you see that your boss is very well put together, and he has to be the only one that is that put together, then you're dealing with a psychopathic boss. Another sign that you have a psychopathic boss is that the environment, the work environment there, is very toxic, very aggressive, whether covertly or overtly. There just seems to be a very, what word will I use? It's just a very toxic air around the whole environment. And this is where it gets really confusing, is that when you look at your boss, if they are psychopathic, they'll be instigating that, but they'll detach from it, so that you'll not be able to point that violence back to them. So you'll find that you're always seeming to be at odds and quarreling and facing microaggressions and micromanagement from your fellow colleagues. This gossip culture, this gang stalking, and all these toxic things, disrespect, the breaking of your boundaries, disrespect of your person, of your social value, of your professional value. But your psychopathic boss seems very detached from all that issue. You cannot point it back to them. So the environment is very aggressive, very toxic, but you can't point it back to your psychopathic boss. Now, this should not confuse you as to where this problem is coming from. If a boss wanted an environment to be peaceful, that environment would be peaceful. Do you understand? It is not peaceful because they are the ones instigating chaos behind the scenes. These narcissists and psychopaths are allergic to peace. They thrive on chaos. Their fuel is the disagreement and the quarrel among colleagues. That's where they derive their fuel. Because inside them, they have a lot of chaos within their soul. They have a lot of restlessness. And the only other way for them to be at peace, for them to be normal, for them to be relieved, is to pass that inner chaos outwards towards someone. This is how psychopaths and narcissists operate. This is how they survive. And so, because they thrive on chaos, their fuel is chaos, they will triangulate all the staff members against each other. And based on how you react, the frustration, the anger, all these things, people fighting against each other, people quarreling all the time, people always reporting issues, this is actually what relieves these dark personalities. That is what gives them peace. That's why you realize when everyone else is at peace, they are very restless. They are always looking around to cause trouble. And when everyone else is now troubled, they appear to be very peaceful. They are the ones who are sober. They are the ones who are mature. They are the ones who are in charge. They are the ones who are guiding people. They are the ones who are solving issues that they instigated, that they created themselves. Continue tapping on the screen, share the live. So that's a very telling sign when the environment, the professional environment around you is simply too toxic, and the boss appears to be aloof, as if they can't do anything about it. They seem to be very innocent and composed, and they pretend to be shocked that this is going on. People cannot behave in a way that they know the boss does not approve. Hello, Nemo. Hi. Carol Hater. You're welcome, everyone. Keep tapping on the screen and sharing the live. Today, we are talking about the psychopathic boss. We're on the second point, which is chaos in the work environment. So we are saying, if you see chaos, endless chaos, but the boss seems to be very cool, calm, and collected. They seem to be the mature one. They seem to be the ones who solve those problems, who talk issues out, they seem to be the ones who, make amends among the staff members. It's because they are the ones who instigated it. I don't know if some of you have these kinds of experiences and what you could share about them. Yeah. Another important point that you need to understand about psychopathic bosses is that they are masters at managing disaster management, meaning they know they are toxic, they know they are brutish, they know they are bullish, they know they are unreasonable, they know they are incapable of moving like normal human beings. And so what they do is that they orchestrate the environment around them physically to protect them, to deflect any possibility that you could find them out. And so if it's a man, for example, you'll find that the psychopathic boss surrounds himself with girls or ladies because he knows he's a monster. He's very evil and he can't pretend. And as good an actor as he is, he can't be able to sustain it for long. So he has to have a group femininity around him to soften his monstrosity. Because when you look at someone and you see ladies around him, or girls around him, or women around him, it softens his presence. He becomes less suspicious. And what will happen with these ladies? They will be groomed properly, such that if you just by chance figure out what is going on with this boss and you dare to call him out, they will go to war for this person. These guys will go to war for this man. They will do anything. And so it will look like you are the guy, you are the person who is, quarreling with ladies and whatnot, and people will think you're weird or whatever. Why is this guy quarreling with girls? Because they are going to war to protect this boss who is rewarding them or is promising them certain rewards. You understand? Maybe he's even sleeping with them. If not, maybe he's promising them promotions, or he's moving in such a way that they feel they are safe if they do his bidding. So they soften their presence with others. Another way they soften their presence or deceive the masses is by surrounding themselves with competent people. people who are more competent than them. If you're dealing with a narcissist or a psychopath, usually they are not as competent as the people who are around them. Their competency is derived. What they have is confidence. And this confidence passes to many people for competence. But it's not. They're usually not as capable as they carry themselves, or as the impression they give out is. And so they will come and you will see all the rich people, hanging around them, all the powerful people hanging around them, all the tall people hanging around them. You get what I'm saying? It's an appearance issue. All those people who are very well put together seem to be around this person. And so that deflects. It looks like there's no way the problem could be here. They look so composed, they look so classy, they look so competent. That is another way that they soften their monstrosity. This happens even in church. If you go to, today is Sunday, right? If your pastor is a narcissistic psychopath, you will realize he has so-called daughters. Oh, my daughter, my daughter. And these ladies around him soften his presence. They soften his appearance so that he becomes very believable, very trustworthy, just because of the femininity that is around this individual. Of course, this can go both ways. It could be men, it could be women. Narcissists and psychopaths are actually about 50% each. So it's not just a man thing. But I'm just using that to give an example. Are we together? So if you see someone who manages his presence using femininity, because femininity is soft, it's kind on the eyes. And then, at the same time, you're still observing the points that I made. There's a lot of chaos, there's a lot of violence, there's a lot of workplace bullying, abuse of office, and you cannot call them out. You cannot touch them. If you dare to do so, they will go to war for him. That's why some other psychologists refer to the narcissists flying monkeys as their lieutenants, because they will go to war for that person. They've been groomed. All right. Another thing you need to look out for if you're dealing with a psychopathic boss is that this particular boss does not assign social value to you in the way that healthy human beings do. They don't look at you as an equal, as one of them. They don't see you. They don't have the capacity to see you as a human being per se. They view you as just the way you would view an animal. A cow that gives me milk, a chicken that gives me meat. That's how they see you. They just see you as something that is here for my own personal benefit. And that's why it really angers them if you try to advocate for yourself. If you demonstrate self-agency, it's an offense to a psychopathic boss, because you've stepped out of the limits that they've put you, meaning to them that they are wrong. You need to understand, because if you're a healthy person, you don't know that there are people who are like this in this world. You think everyone is like you. You think everyone is healthy. You're looking for the good in people. You're trying to be friendly with everyone. You think they'll respect you the way you respect them. etc, etc. Nothing could be further from the truth. Welcome everyone. Keep sharing the live, tapping on the screen, joining the fan club by using the heart me icon up there. They do not assign divine value, even if it's in church. They do not assign social value to you if it's in the professional field. You are only there to further their agenda and to do what they want. And if you prove that you are more than their imaginations of you, it is an insult to them, because that is telling them that they are wrong. You're not even telling them that they are wrong yourself. You're not even thinking that way. But you standing up for yourself to be of professional value, to be of divine value, to be of equal human value, to be more than just an object, prove to them that they are wrong about you. So that means you're saying to them they are not perfect, which is an insult, because they have to be perfect. This is why you even wonder, why is his reaction, why is her reaction so disproportionate to me, simply because I require this or I need this to be done to me. If I require fairness, if I require justice, if I require equity, why is this so offensive to this person? Their reaction is not proportionate to my asking. They are behaving as if I've killed someone just because I wanted to be treated equally. It's because you stepped out of the parameters that they have placed you in. You have proved that you are more than a figment of their own imaginations about you. You have demonstrated that it's possible for them to be wrong, because you are not what they are describing you or thinking that you are. Meaning, their God complex is shattered, because God has to be right about everything and everyone. So you're simply saying you're not God. You don't know everything. You're not perfect. Just because you've advocated for yourself. You're dealing with a psychopath. Hi Sally, hi N2, hi Femme Fatale. Hello everyone. Yes, so let me just go through a brief of everything that I've mentioned, and then we will end tonight's live. If you have a question, if you have a contribution, feel free to invite yourself. But yes, today we were talking about the psychopathic boss. And we said the first thing you need to look out for if you want to determine whether or not you're dealing with a psychopathic boss is their appearance. They're usually very physically attractive, very well put together, and not just in the way that, everyone should be, because we all should be like that, but it's excessive. And it's not just excessive, it's a cover. And it's not just a cover, it's a means to compete. It's meant to, develop a certain hierarchy of relations based on how they appear. So if their appearance comes to do all these things, you're dealing with a psychopath. Secondly, we said they soften their presence usually with femininity around them. Because they are monsters, they know they are good actors. What they'll do is that they'll surround themselves with girls or women so that it softens their presence. And they'll groom them until these girls are their lieutenants. They'll go to war for them. If you just dare to call them out on their abuse, or try to reveal them for who they really are. Usually they promise these girls, promotions or bonuses, or just the fact that being attached to this person implies that you're a cool factor, or that these things will come your way, these favors will be your portion in the future. or maybe he's even sleeping with them. Whatever means he's using to groom them. They will go to war for him, while he remains there looking as a very shocked, innocent person. But he is the one instigating all the problems going around. Which leads me to the third point, which was violence. A chaotic working environment is proof that you're dealing with a psychopathic boss. Even if they appear to be very quiet, very composed, very sober in the background. Because they are the ones in charge. And if the person in charge wants peace in that place, there will be peace. If you don't see peace, if all the staff members are triangulated against each other, if there's a gossip culture, a gang stalking culture, trust you me, even though you can't point it out with your own finger, that is a direct reflection of a psychopathic boss pulling the strings. He's puppeteering everything around. Then fourth, we said they do not assign social value, professional value to you. You are simply a means to an end. You're an object. And demonstrating agency, advocating for yourself is an offense to them, because it shows them that they are wrong about you, and gods can't be wrong. Narcissists, psychopaths have a god complex. And so they will react to you disproportionately for requiring fairness. They will hurt you. They will cause your colleagues to hate you. They will lie about you. They will falsify documents. They will remove the perks you're supposed to get. You're dealing with a psychopathic boss. That's how you know it.